Hello! Welcome back to Connect Through Beauty, episode 18. So last week I was saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe that we're at 17 episodes and going 17 weeks strong. And, now here we are at 18, right? So it really got me thinking about going back and reflecting on all of the really amazing people that we've had on this podcast. I mean, it's just kind of been incredible. And I wanted to highlight all of my favorite parts about this podcast and bring that to you guys. I think that you're really going to find value in each one. So as you go through this podcast, you're going to hear all of the different episodes, but just a little highlight, just a little piece of it. And if you really like it, you can always go back and listen to the full podcast. I hope that you guys enjoy it, and I hope that you really stay connected and keep listening and keep using the tools. And I hope that you guys have a really fantastic day.
What's interesting is because I became an entrepreneur right out of college, I'm surrounded by other entrepreneurs. And what I learned is that college was just a social experiment that costs a lot of money. Mm-hmm. And while I'm about to send 2 kids to college, I've told them the same thing. It's a social experiment. It's really about you trying to find yourself and in an independent way. But if you already know what you're passionate about, do that thing. I mean, the beauty industry is a really successful industry, and you can be incredibly successful. And part of it's developing the talent, right? The skill set. But the other part goes right. But the other part goes back to what I said at first is it's developing you. It's developing who you are and your ability to be personable and kind and thoughtful and have good social skills. And if you nail that, you're golden. But why I started working with Canvas Me and what you just alluded to is so often people only work on the skill of like the actual skill set, the tactical skills, but they don't realize how incredibly important the development of yourself is.
How do we transform that victim story that's holding us back and sabotaging our success into this story of victory and empowerment, and really identifying what those beliefs are that are holding you back? Because we see it all day. We work with, thousands at the student level. They have worthiness issues. They feel like they're not good enough. And really at the bottom line is your beliefs become your actions, which then therefore become your results. So if you believe you're not good enough, if you believe you can't do it, your actions will tell you not to, and therefore it shows up in your results. And so Matt and I are so passionate about not only bringing Canvas Me as a platform to this industry, but really kind of helping people break through, transform their story, transform their lives, and really see themselves at their highest level of potential. Yeah. And that's also why, we partnered with Jen Groover and we're bringing her into this industry is because, she changed our lives. And that's the goal, right? That's what we want to do is change lives and make everybody realize their maximum potential.
Yeah, I think Jen has been a very critical addition to the Canvas Me team. I think, yes, the platform is cool and the platform will allow people to find new opportunities. But if you can't show up in the best version self, you're never going to be happy, right? And we really start to educate students at a very young point in their career around the mindset piece, around emotional intelligence, because again, we want to help bring strong, independent, amazing humans into this industry. And it starts at the student level. And the better they feel about themselves, the more confident and stronger they are, the better employees they're going to be, the better stylists they're going to be, the better estheticians they're going to be.
About a story that I was, that's when I was living in Canada, and I had to, I always started my flight. I had to travel and take an airline to Seattle, and then I would travel from Seattle. And I believe I was going to New York at that time. And I happened to get upgraded, and I was sitting in the first row and I had the window seat, and the gentleman next beside me, we were kind of looking at one another, and now I just keep my headphones on. I don't really want to talk to really people around me because that's just being a road warrior.
Yeah.
But I noticed him doing some things, and I was saying, "So what do you do?" And he said, "Oh, well, I'm one of the VPs of Boeing Airlines, and I'm going out to a plant wherever that was to do some quality control, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera." And he was postulating and telling me about everything that he did. And he said, "What do you do?" And I went, "Well, I'm a hairdresser." And it was like the conversation came to an end. It was almost like I had I was this leper that if he touched me or whatever, he was going to catch something.
Sure.
And it was interesting because while I didn't do it, I wanted to say to him, "Oh, okay, big shot.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel that because you're the VP of Boeing and making X amount of dollars per year, why don't you pull your income tax return,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll pull out my income tax return,
Mm-hmm.
and we should see who's afraid of touching one another." Because, and that's what I'll leave these people with, is that in this business, if you apply yourself and if you push yourself and you're willing to take risks and you get constant training, you can make yourself one hell of a good living.
Sometimes it's wonderful just to stand back and observe and watch all the wonderful people do their magic. And you take little bits and pieces from everyone. And then before you know it, you have 30 years of knowledge, and you take all of those amazing little things and you create what I would call a fingerprint. It's your signature. And I was thinking about walking away from the industry, looking into a new field. And I kept thinking to myself, the kids coming out of beauty school, wouldn't I want to do the same thing for them that the people in my life did for me?
Oh, yeah. You say, and what kind of advice would you give someone? And I love to ask this question, that is on the fence about joining the beauty industry.
I would tell, well, I guess what comes to my mind is to pass on to them what was passed on to me forever ago when I was on that same fence. Whether we're in it and we're stuck and we want to get on the other side, or we're not even in it yet, but we're not sure. My teachers made it safe. They said, sign up, join for 6 months, 9 months, a year. Give it a year, but don't just give it a year, but give yourself to it for the year or 6, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Go in, play full out, be totally committed. At the end of that time, your life is either going to be looking and feeling and sounding and being better than it was, or it isn't. Then decide if this is for you. And well, what if it isn't for me? Well, you can always go back and pick up on where you were before you got here. Well, I've wasted a year. Well, how old are you? I'm 23, I'm 32, it's like, yeah, so a year, come on, really? Like if you're like 82, a year is different than, 28. So, don't worry about it and stay out of your head. Just stay. It's like three of the most dangerous words we can say when we're on the fence is, I've been thinking. Because we will, our fear and doubt will cause us to think ourselves out of something that could be life-changing. So be open, give it a shot. But if you're going to do that, play full out. Don't have 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and at the end of the year wonder why it didn't work out. It's like, no, You got to jump in with both feet. You jump in with the faith that this is going to work. I'm going to do my part. I'm going to suit up, show up, give it my best shot. And I know that if I do that, my faith says I'm going to be in a better place than I am now. Even if I don't decide to pursue it, that journey will, it's just not, did I get or not get it? It's really more, did I become something? What did I become in the year? Did I become more focused? Did I become more hopeful, faithful, optimistic, persevering, courageous? Because those are the qualities that we're going to either take with us if we stay or take with us if we leave. And those qualities are, they're essential. That's what gets us to the promised land.
Your whole life changes when you understand that it's always about learning. There is no time to slow down, and your whole life really changes when I am committed to giving 100%. And I know a lot of people that are listening to this podcast right now are thinking, well, yes, so am I. But what might differentiate us is I'm committed to giving 100% of the time. I've been living for today, for us to have this opportunity to be together. I looked over my notes 1,000 times. I looked over your questions 1,000 times. I was in my office this morning at 6:30, getting my laptop ready, making sure my headphones were charged up. And some people never think about the importance of preparation, but I can tell you the biggest change in my life was when I committed to giving 100% of the time, that nothing would get in the way, not my life, not my attitude, not my problems, because people sometimes don't realize, there's an old saying, Ashley, that says the same wind blows on us all. Everyone has issues. Everyone has problems. Everyone has challenges. Everyone has health stuff. Everyone has stuff going on.
I think, again, not totally technology related, but I just think in general, our world is at a place where we have, and in our industry, it's sort of separated right now. I feel like we have two different types of people in our business where we still have people that are a little bit older generation that haven't quite adapted to new changes and aren't totally on board. I think that our pandemic kind of helped push people into that a little bit more with change and doing things a little bit different. But there's still a lot of people that I see or talk to that are like, there's no way I'm making my people pay a deposit for their service. It's like, oh, okay. Or there's no way I'm going to charge somebody a cancellation fee if they didn't show up, because, who knows? These are people that I care about, I've worked with for 20 years or whatever. So I feel like there's still that side of people that are, that older generation that are still afraid of that change or don't want to adapt or do anything new, and they're very comfortable with what everybody's doing. And then we've got this new generation coming in that is like born with cell phones and like know how to use everything, all of the latest technology, like they are on it. And social media for building their clientele. Like, what is a referral card? A physical referral card? It's your Instagram now, right? But for that other generation, it is a physical card, or it is that handwritten postcard with a stamp on it out to your clients. And neither way is right or wrong or good or bad. They're just very different in finding what works. But we're going to, like, when you talk about the future, that old way is going to eventually retire out, right? They're eventually going to move on, and we're going to continue to have this new generation of people in our business that are going to continue evolving the way that we're seeing it right now with, their digital marketing, their technology, their software technology, and it's going to continue to grow that way. That's what I see. That's what I think.
The confidence, the courage and the confidence to begin to engage my clients in conversations that involve retail or rebook or referral. And it's not, when stylists are struggling with that, 9 times out of 10, it's not because they don't know what to say. Because there are so many classes today at Lords and Ladies and some of the brands. And so if you're at a loss for script, there is so many different ways of engaging our clients. Of in retail, referral, and rebook conversations. So what I don't want to talk about on this podcast is that, because it's there.
Sure.
And if you go, I still don't have it. Well, then check in with your manager, your leader, because trust me, they've got 3-ring binders that are so the problem is I don't have the courage or the confidence to use those scripts or begin practicing the scripts or begin getting skillful at the scripts. I'm scared. So let's talk about being more courageous and confident. And again, everything I teach is an obstacle once upon a time that was really blocking my own progress. And so forever ago, I was somebody that said, I struggle. I wouldn't call it courage. I called it confidence. I struggle with my confidence. I hope the day comes where I can be more confident about retail, or be more confident about rebook, referral, or even be more confident to begin learning color, whatever that was. I would always speak about it. And I need more confidence. And it was almost, I used to say tongue in cheek, I'm waiting for my confidence level to rise. And if you listen, you'll hear that. Or I'm working on my confidence. And it took one of those definable moments with my first coach to say, Michael, confidence is the reward of courage. So we don't wait for confidence before we courageously begin learning something. We need to demonstrate courage, take courageous acts, and every time we do that, we get more confident in the act we're taking. It's as if to say, confidence is the reward of courage. And when he dropped that on me, I went, wait, what? Like, what are you talking about? I didn't understand. I said, that's too deep for me. Like, you got to make it simpler. And then he goes, okay, I'll make it simple. Courage is nothing more than the decision to not let fear stop you from taking an action.
Yeah.
And I said, well, what action are you talking about? And he brought me the scripts. I go, you've got these scripts. We've role played them. We talked about. I've even said, find your own voice and write this down. And you've got them all. But action is, you have an opportunity today or tomorrow. You're working on 2 or 3 clients to actually practice a script, but you don't, because it creeps you out. You feel it's scary. Courage says, I'm not going to let fear stop me today from taking an action on one of these scripts. Now, whether that action works or not, this is not what this conversation's about. So you might say, I tried this, and this client says no. It's like, no, this is not what this conversation's about. It's did you or did you not dissipate your fear and take this one courageous act? If the answer is yes, whether they said yes or no, the next time you take this, you use this script, because there's going to be a next time. You're going to have another opportunity. You will find that you're a little bit less frightened about taking the action, and it's going to require a little bit less courage. And if you really look at it, that would only mean that you're a little bit more confident in using the script. And it's that to the degree you practice courage, you get a little bit confident, which means I'm a little bit less scared. And until you hit this tipping point where all of a sudden it's not as scary anymore. And oh my God, there was like 2 or 3 people that actually said yes.
Yeah.
They went, okay, or they sent me a referral, or they set up their next appointment. And now this is the life process. This is how life works. You don't wait for confidence. You demonstrate courage, which is a decision to not let fear stop you from using a script. And when you do, you get confident. Oh my, that revolutionized. So it was the combination of the power of I am and, confidence is the reward of courage. Those two were like rocket boosters.
You know what? I'm learning boundaries, and I'm going to say to all of you guys out there that you need to have boundaries. And just now learning boundaries. I don't have many, but that is one of my rules from Chris Bear and Chris Moody. I need to have boundaries. I need to make rules, and at least make 5 rules that you will stay by. Whether it's like, I will take a vacation every year, and you do it. And whether you say, I don't work on Sundays, that's what I'm doing, so you have to make your rules. So this is something new to me that I'm learning, because I'm bad at it, because all I do is work. But the one thing that I always do that I have not missed ever was I pray, and I put everything to God, and I pray about everything, because I need him to give me my peace, but I also work out. And that workout, me working out helps me to also be at peace. So those 2 things is what helps me stay steady in my life. And it may not be for everybody. However, whatever your beliefs are, whatever takes your mind somewhere else, you need that. So for me, I do a lot of praying, and I have to make sure I get my workout in there, because if I don't work out, I'm lost. So I make sure I work out, and that keeps me balanced everywhere.
Think about it. Where were we a year ago? Where were we 10 years ago, 30 years ago? And the industry going way back, and look how far we've came. Look at the possibilities, the pathfinders who led us to where we are today. I truly believe that this industry, quite frankly, is the best industry in the world. And people who don't understand that, don't see it because they're not in it. But where else can you make a difference? People to look good, feel good about themselves in 30 minutes. And this is happening across the world. You're building friends across the world. So where's this industry going? Oh my God, it's like the sky's the limit. What we need is to find more creative people who not so much, we talk about many times, get yourself out of your comfort zone, because that's where we learn. It sounds fantastic and looks great on paper. And I find out by reading that, yeah, it sounds great. Get yourself out of the comfort zone, but that's where you learn. And it looks great on paper, but quite frankly, the brain does not compute that. What we need to do is keep yourself in your comfort zone and find what makes you comfortable. And once you find what makes you comfortable, now what's your next step? To take that and stretch it to help others. And if you keep growing within, that comfort zone becomes so huge, it's as big as the universe, and that's where the industry is going. Once I say, I'm going to take you out of your comfort zone, and you trust me enough to say, okay, Johnny, and then we try something completely different, our brains start shutting down, because either you're embarrassed, you want to make Papa proud, I'm not good enough, and that's just human behavior. So stay in your comfort zone, find your mastery, whatever your mastery is. And once you find out, what is your next step to grow from within? And sooner or later, you'll find there is nothing besides your comfort zone. That's how big your game got.
I do, actually, especially now that I've got my little guy. I think about that all the time, I was asked the other day in an interview, what do you want your legacy to be, or what do you want to be known as or remembered by? And I'm hoping that it's being known as for the education that that Sam brought, the education that Sam offered, the teacher that Sam was, the hairdresser's hairdresser. I think that's something. But yes, I think about those things every day, with my family, I'm not getting any younger, with the audience, every audience I'm in front of. I think it's like, we've been talking about this whole thing of how the world has shifted, especially now at a rapid pace. God, it's amazing what's happening out there. I think I just want to tell your audience, I think, we just got to evolve with it.
Yeah.
And my goal is to not only empower my family, but empower salons and hairdressers with some kind of knowledge that they can still continue to flourish, and I think the way that we continue to do that, like I try to tell my son, you need to be curious. And he's like, well, what does that mean? But I think if you remain curious and not judgmental, I think is important. Most people are judgmental. They listen to, I think we need to listen to understand before we listen to be understood. Most people listen to be understood. Like, in a consultation, I want you to remember that, share that with your team. During the consultation process, listen to understand what the client is saying instead of listening to be understood. So in other words, you're starting to engage your response. You're not really listening. And you're engaging your response. You're choosing that you want her to understand your response.
Right.
But if we really listen, which is, I think, important in today's world. But I think in order to do that, we need to be less curious about people and more curious about sharing ideas. And when we do that, it allows us to remain open with each other. It allows us to learn together, and it inspires hope in the industry. So my goal is to ignite some imagination in my son, ignite some imagination in the industry, and instill this love of learning. I want him to enjoy learring. Right now he started kindergarten and he's amazing.
No.
And he loves playing soccer. He played three games. He scored 7 goals. He's amazing. But I work out with him in the house with a balloon. My wife is like, God, do you have these little things? The way I go, well, with a balloon, he has to slow down. We tell him, keep your eye on the ball. But with a balloon, he has to really watch it, be patient, let it fall, then kick it. And then with a balloon, to get it to go anywhere, he has to kick it really hard. Sure. So then I tell him, dribble the balloon. So he has to really try to dribble a balloon. And it's really lightweight. It just takes off, So when you get him with a ball out on the field, it's just amazing watching it. And then he kicks, he goes, wow, I kicked it far and hard. Little does he know, it comes from working out with the balloon. So it's this devotion. It's about a devotion. So, it's this devotion of time that I need to make for him, but it's also the devotion to the craft of hairdressing that I have. And teaching is rooted in my quest, and connection is rooted in my quest. And, my pledge to the industry is that will continue to be a resource for the, I guess you could call it, for the assembly of ideas, and then giving it out there in the industry. So I think people need to understand moving forward. I hear this a lot out there, Ashley, that, well, Sam, I've been to so much education, there's nothing really new out there. I don't want them to forget that an investment in education continues to be an investment in the future, because they could walk away with one small takeaway, and that takeaway could change their career behind that chair. That one small takeaway.
Absolutely. I love that you just said that. That's absolutely what I'm hoping with this, is creating conversations. And if it just touches one person, then that's all. That's it. I'm good. I'm happy.
Right.
Yeah. Just igniting that soul inside of you,
Well, Ashley, I can't tell you the formula for success, but I will tell you the formula for failure is trying to please everybody. As long as you put out 115%, over 100%, then you've done your best. Then it's up to them. It's their choice from that point. And, I guarantee you probably are pleasing the majority of people, but, we're not going to please everybody, and I'm not going to let that bother me.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, taken me a long time to definitely work on that.
Yeah, it does. It took me a while, because you have genuine concern and you want to do things the right way and you want to be a success. But I got to tell you, my dear, lately what I've discovered is living a satisfying life is much better than living a successful life. And the reason I say that is because your success is judged by others. While a satisfying life is judged by my own heart, soul, and mind. And that's what I choose to prefer to live now. Because if I satisfy myself, then I know I can satisfy any audience.
I think that's the thing. It's like, where were we? Like, we were at Tony and Guy in Arizona, and they've been a fantastic customer. ABO is the owner, and they had this young guy that was cutting hair, and you could tell this guy was just great. Like, he used to, like, his clients loved him when we were there because we were like shooting some demo videos and stuff, and interviewing the staff. And I'll never forget. I mean, he was young too, and he laughed. He said, he made the joke about, this is fantastic. I don't need to store cash under my mattress anymore. Joking. And it was funny because he said that because come to find out that his family was in the industry. And that was the mindset of, like, you got cash and you put it in a shoebox or an envelope, or you put it in your mattress. And that's, it made me laugh. It made me realize, like, we got to change that mindset. That's not the mindset we have. And, Ashley, like, education is so important. So a new product comes out, a new tool, like, that makes the industry better. It makes your profession better. It makes you better at your job. It makes your clients happier. It makes their hair amazing. Why are we not thinking that way financially? Why are we still thinking put money on the mattress, with your tips? We got to think the same way, revolutionize everything else. And that's, what we hope we do, with the tips.
How prioritizing rest, which has never been a thing for me, is so important. And I'm like, okay, for the next 4 weeks, I am going to prioritize resting. And my exercise might only be a mile walk. And that's okay, because right now my focus is on restoring my health and my energy and not being the fittest. And that's okay, right? Yeah. And so it's kind of cool. And then, I want to get back to, I think early morning rising is good, but you have to be patient with yourself. Yeah, and giving yourself grace when you go through those moments. And I think we all go through seasons in our life,
sure. I know that what you're saying, I can totally relate with because I try to beat myself up over the littlest things. Yeah. And what I'm focusing more on is the grace and the ability to just kind of say, that's okay.
Isn't that interesting? Because we do these things. We set these goals. We journal, we meditate, maybe we're into praying, maybe we're into exercise. We do these things because they're good for us, right? Sure. And maybe because we love ourselves and we want to do right by ourselves. But when we slip, then we beat ourselves up. Well, that's not very loving. Right? Like, that's not loving yourself at all.
No. Right. 100%.
So now this thing that was supposed to be positive actually has turned kind of negative in your life. And I think it's really important to be aware of that.
Absolutely. The more aware you are of when those feelings come up, I think you finally have gotten to the place where you need to be. Yep. And Absolutely. Can really focus your energy on where it should be.
Just love my job. Like, being an esthetician, being in this industry is fun. It's so much fun. Who else can say they get to go in and like do their hair and do their nails and just like, look pretty and do things to better themselves? Like, it's such an awesome job.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's so fun. It is. And it's so fun. Like, not doing hair anymore and not kind of being out of the salon on a daily basis, just being able to be in beauty schools and watching the excitement of these students that are coming in to the industry. I mean, oh my goodness, it just like sets my heart on fire.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I just love what I do. And Ashley, thank you so much again for just getting me getting me in here, number one, because I don't know, I love it here. Like, I feel like I've found my forever home, and I am just so excited to see where I am in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, whatever it may be. I can definitely see myself here for the long haul, and I am just excited to see, you know, what Lords and Ladies has to offer in the future.
And you know, I love hearing that from you. I mean, you, from the moment I've met you to now, you've just changed just tremendously in the way that you present yourself. I mean, you're just so confident, so happy. It shows all over your face. Extremely proud to know who you are and watch you grow. So I'm just so thankful too.
And he said, as you listen to me coaching you, if you can imagine that you're on the other side of this and you ask yourself the question, if what I'm being told right now, if that really is the truth, and I was able to get a little bit more skillful and open about using the truth as my conversation, and it worked, would I be better off than I am now? In other words, would I feel better? Might I have a better number, a retail number? Would I get closer to my goal? And if the answer to the question is yes, I'm not asking you to, drink the Kool-Aid. I'm not asking you to sign on. What I'm asking you to do is then go out and test the truth. Test it. Test it for a week, or test it for 5 clients. Go into the conversation to really, I want to test this so that I can see or hear or feel for myself if this is true. But I'm going to go in it full on. I'm not.
Close out all the lights except this one light that we were supposed to leave on. And then I'd stand in the middle of the salon, I'd raise my fist up to the ceiling, and I'd grab a hand fistful of air, I'd pull it down to my heart and say, someday the industry will know my name.
This was so fun to go back and listen to all of these amazing conversations. I have to tell you, I absolutely really enjoyed all of this. And, putting it together was a little long and challenging to find the specific things that I wanted to say or I wanted to highlight. But, oh my gosh, I am just so happy and overjoyed, and I just feel so grateful for all of these conversations, and to be able to share them with all of you is just so amazing. So I hope that you truly enjoyed that and find some tools that really resonate with you and that you can use throughout your day. And I hope that you have a fantastic day. Keep staying connected.